The gates are shut. The walls are half broken. And still, nobody inside is surrendering. Outside those walls stands an army of veterans. Men who crushed the Germans. Men who crushed the Sarmatians. Men who have never lost. Their commander has one order left to give. Take the city. He never gets the chance. To understand how it got to this point, you have to go back 3 years, to the moment Rome's entire system of power was thrown into chaos. This is the year 238 AD, and by the time it ends, Rome will have crowned 6 different men as emperor. Historians call it the year of the 6 emperors, a stretch of months so unstable that no one alive at the time could have predicted who would still be in power by winter. Armies were making emperors now, not the Senate. Loyalty was bought, not earned. And the throne itself had become something closer to a battlefield prize than a birthright. At the center of all of it is one man who was never supposed to rule at all. Not born into nobility. Not groomed for the Senate, a soldier from the frontier, raised in the army camps, who fought his way to the very top of the empire through sheer force and battlefield reputation. His name will echo through this story from beginning to end, and by the time it is over, you will understand exactly why the city of Aquileia and the empire itself could not simply let him march through unopposed. He is about to learn a lesson that has broken far greater commanders before him. Winning battles is not the same as winning loyalty. His name is Maximinus Thrax. In March of 235 AD, the legions on the Rhine murdered the young Emperor Severus Alexander and put Maximinus in his place. He is unlike any emperor before him. No senator's blood. No noble family. Just a career built entirely on the battlefield. For 3 years, Maximinus never sets foot in Rome. He stays on the frontier, fighting the Germans, fighting the Sarmatians, funding his campaigns by melting down bronze statues of the gods, and squeezing every province he can reach. The Senate watches all of this from a distance, and they are running out of patience. Some historians argue Maximinus was simply a capable commander, painted as a monster by senators who despised him for not being one of them. Others take the ancient accounts of his brutality at face value. The truth likely sits somewhere in between. Early in the year 238, in a town called Thysdrus, in modern-day Tunisia, a tax collector pushes too hard. Local landowners kill him. There is no going back now. They meet a figurehead, someone the Senate will accept, so they turn to the elderly governor of the province, a man in his 80s named Gordian. He does not want the throne, but he takes it anyway, alongside his son. In Rome, the Senate seizes the moment. They declare Maximinus a public enemy and recognize the 2 Gordians as emperors instead. It lasts 22 days. A rival governor named Capellianus, commanding the only full legion in the region, marches on Carthage. Gordian's son dies in the fighting. When the old man hears the news, he takes his own life rather than face what comes next. The Gordians are dead, but Maximinus is still marked as an enemy of the state, and the Senate cannot undo that now. So they improvise. 2 senators, Pupienus and Balbinus, are elected as joint emperors. A 13-year-old boy, the grandson of the first Gordian, is named heir just in case. It is a fragile arrangement built out of panic. And word of it is already reaching Maximinus's camp. He does not wait. He gathers his legions, including the elite Second Parthica, and turns south, toward Italy, toward Rome. Standing directly in his path is a city at the head of the Adriatic Sea, a city called Aquileia, and what happens at that city over the next several weeks will decide whether Maximinus ever reaches Rome at all. Aquileia is not a fortress. Its walls have been neglected for years. By any normal military logic, it should fall in days. But 2 senators are already inside, a man named Crispinus and a man named Monophilus. And they refuse to open the gates. They work fast. Crumbling sections of wall are patched. Towers go up. The river at the base of the city becomes a natural moat, and the wells inside mean the defenders will never run short of water. Grain, meat, and vegetables are stockpiled from the surrounding countryside. When Maximinus arrives, expecting the city to open its gates out of fear, he finds the opposite. Assault after assault, his legions are thrown back. Recent excavations near Aquileia's ancient marketplace have uncovered grain stores, drainage systems, and even a stretch of cobbled street worn down by cart wheels. Evidence, still being unearthed today, of exactly the kind of city that could feed and supply itself through a long siege. Inside the city, the mood is very different from outside it. Aquileia has always been a trading city, a place built on ships and grain and river traffic, not on soldiers. But that same wealth is what saves it now. Storehouses that once held goods for merchants are quickly turned into supply depots for the siege. Every failed assault outside the walls becomes a small piece of proof to the people inside that they might actually survive this. And every day the city holds, the story spreading through Maximinus's camp grows a little darker. A soldier emperor, famous for never losing, is being stopped by a city that was not even supposed to have an army. Weeks pass. The walls do not fall. And inside Maximinus's own camp, something worse than defeat is spreading. Doubt. Many of the soldiers surrounding Aquileia belong to the Second Parthica Legion. Their families live near Rome, in a town called Albano. A town now firmly under Senate control. Every day this siege drags on is a day their emperor looks weaker, and a day their own families sit in the hands of the men Maximinus has sworn to destroy. Some historians describe this as loyalty finally breaking under pressure. Others argue it was simple calculation. The soldiers were not choosing a side out of belief. They were protecting their own families and hedging their bets on who was actually going to win. Early May. A lull in the fighting. Around midday, a group of soldiers from the Second Parthica approached the emperor's tent. His own bodyguard, the men sworn to protect him, quietly strip his portrait from the military standards outside. Maximinus steps out with his son to address the men. He never finishes speaking. Both are killed on the spot. Their bodies are left for the animals. Their heads are cut off and sent to Rome as proof. The siege that could not be broken by force is ended in a single afternoon by the very men who marched here to break it. Word reaches Aquileia, and the gates finally open. Not to an invading army, but to Pupienus himself, arriving to thank the defenders in person. For the city, it is a genuine victory. 2 senators and a population with no real army had outlasted an emperor's legions. But Rome's chaos is far from finished. Within months, Pupienus and Balbinus are murdered too, this time by their own Praetorian guard. A 13-year-old boy, Gordian III, is left holding the empire alone. So why did an emperor who never lost a battle end up dead outside a city with broken walls? Because in Rome, in the year 238, walls were never really what decided who held power. Loyalty did, and loyalty, as Maximinus learned in the worst possible way, could disappear faster than any siege could ever break through. If you want more documentaries based on real events and reliable research, subscribe and join us for the next journey into the past.